At one time, it was believed that hard work alone would guarantee a home, a stable job, and a better life for your children. This was the quintessential American dream. However, in many parts of the country, that dream has become an empty shell. Once bustling streets are now lined with closed shops, and houses that once echoed with childish laughter stand abandoned, overgrown with weeds. Jobs are scarce, debt is rampant, and confidence in the future is fading. Today, we will explore 8 states facing crises where the American dream has not only been shaken but may have disappeared entirely. The critical question is whether these are isolated incidents or a grim warning for the future of America as a whole. Let's begin. Number 8. California. The fading golden paradise. California, once renowned as America's golden paradise with year-round warm sun, Hollywood, and Silicon Valley, is now experiencing an unprecedented exodus. It may sound unbelievable, but in 2023 alone, over 340,000 residents left California, an all-time record. The numbers paint a stark picture. The median home price exceeds $800,000, double the national median. The state's personal income tax is also the highest in the U.S., reaching 13.3% for high-income earners. Imagine a seemingly stable family with a decent income, yet they must pay over half their earnings just to have a roof over their heads, not including electricity, water, and gasoline. A San Jose family, whose roots in California span 3 generations, recently sold their house and moved to Texas. Their grandparents bought a small house for the price of a new truck. Last year, despite having paid off their mortgage, the current generation couldn't handle the soaring cost of living. They shared a poignant sentiment that resonates deeply. We love California, but it seems like California no longer loves us. The primary reason for this mass exodus is the constantly escalating cost of living, particularly housing and basic services. A prolonged housing crisis has resulted in a severe lack of affordable housing for middle-income individuals, leading to a significant increase in homelessness. Even technology businesses are opening offices in Texas and Florida to reduce costs and attract talent, indicating that even tech giants are following the migration trend. If this trend persists, California may retain its beautiful beaches and flashy buildings, but it risks losing the very people and vitality that once fueled its golden dream. A state cannot thrive on beautiful postcards alone. Imagine California as a gold-plated yacht that, from a distance, sparkles, but inside, water has begun to leak into its hull. Would you stay if you had to pay 60% of your income just to live in your favorite place? Please share your story in the comments section. If you think California's story is the saddest, wait until we delve into the next state, where the crisis isn't just about money but about trust in the government. Number 7. Illinois. The burden of debt. Illinois, once proudly called the land of Lincoln, is now burdened by massive public debt, forcing its citizens to pay for mistakes they didn't make. The figures are startling. The state's public pension debt exceeds $140 billion, one of the highest in the United States. Real estate taxes are also among the highest nationally, yet public services and infrastructure continue to deteriorate to an alarming degree. Chicago's crime rate, particularly for serious offenses, has surged by more than 40% in just 5 years. Many areas are so unstable that even the police hesitate to enter them. Analysts believe Illinois has long indulged in a dangerous habit, spending far beyond its revenue. Budget deficits and pension debts swell, but instead of tightening belts and restructuring, the administration opts for the easiest solution: raising taxes. Despite these high taxes, streets remain riddled with potholes, schools are understaffed, and police forces are insufficient. You might wonder where the mismanagement lies. The real shock is that even those working within the state apparatus, individuals who have believed in and dedicated their lives to Illinois, are leaving. They are not leaving because they want to, but because they understand that staying means their future will be dragged down by this mountain of public debt. A retired police officer recounted a somber promise. "They promised us a living pension, but now I don't know if I will still receive it next month." He then offered a faint smile, pointing, "I should probably learn how to pack like my neighbor did." When former city guardians like police and firefighters choose to leave their homes, a crucial question arises. Who will remain to save Illinois if the next storm hits? Without drastic reform, Illinois stands to lose not only more money but also the very people who keep the state alive. Illinois resembles an ancient, once shaded tree whose roots have rotted. A sufficiently large storm could cause everything to collapse. Do you still believe the government will keep its promises to you? Please share your thoughts in the comment section of this video. If you think Illinois is heading downhill, the next state is losing not only money and faith but also its very soul. Number 6. New York, the bleeding heart. New York, the economic and cultural heart of America, is a place where simply stepping foot instantly immerses you in its never-sleeping energy. However, for the past 3 years, that heart appears to have been bleeding silently but violently. In just 3 years, New York has lost over 500,000 residents, a number equivalent to the entire population of a city like Miami disappearing. Property taxes and living expenses are among the highest in the country, while security has declined markedly. Many small businesses have closed, especially in once iconic neighborhoods like Brooklyn and Queens. To live comfortably in New York, you need to earn more than double the American average, and that doesn't even account for the cost of safety. A family restaurant owner in Brooklyn, who had kept her store open for 25 years and even weathered the 2008 crisis, decided to close last year. When asked why, she simply stated, "Rents increased, customers were few, and every night I worried that someone would rob me. I love this city, but it doesn't love me anymore." Even the most resilient individuals are now packing to leave. The constant increase in the cost of living, particularly housing and basic services, combined with high taxes that exhaust small businesses and rising crime rates that erode people's sense of security, has turned New York's dream into a burden. If this trend continues, New York will retain its dazzling lights and towering skyscrapers but will lose its soul, the people who constitute the city's vibrant pulse. A Broadway stage may still glow with lights, but the audience is quietly leaving their seats. Can you live in a beautiful, famous place that is no longer safe? Please share your answer. If New York's situation surprises you, the next state will worry you even more, as its decline is unfolding right before your eyes, out on the streets. Number 5. Oregon, the homeless capital. Oregon was once known as a nature lover's paradise, offering fresh air, cohesive communities, and a rare sense of peace. However, many now refer to it as the capital of the homeless crisis. Oregon's homeless rate is among the top 5 in the United States, with tens of thousands of people without roofs over their heads. Portland alone recorded a nearly 25% increase in dangerous crimes in the past 5 years, and the number of tents in the city center doubled in just 3 years. The tragic reality is that many of these individuals once had jobs and homes until rising costs and crises pushed them onto the streets. A veteran, now living in a makeshift tent on the side of the road, used to drive trucks across America and had a family and a home. After an operation, he lost his job, and his savings ran out. He and his wife had no choice but to pitch a tent in the middle of the street. He remarked, "I never thought I would end my life here, but in Oregon now, a small mistake can also push you into the street." An alarming housing crisis has caused rents to increase faster than income. Coupled with weak urban management, this has led Portland and many other Oregonian cities to lose control. Support policies exist, but they are insufficient to pull people out of the unemployment spiral and homelessness. If left unchanged, Oregon risks losing its image as a green paradise and becoming a somber demonstration of how quickly a community can decline when the cost of living outpaces the means of its people. The green gem of the Northwest is still there, but layers of instability and poverty are clouding its light. What do you think is the most effective way for a state like Oregon to address the homeless crisis? Please share your thoughts. Number 4. Michigan, the dying industrial heart. Finally, the state at the top of this list, once a symbol of America's industrial power, now serves as a stark warning for the entire country. Michigan was once the beating steel heart of Detroit, where every car rolling onto the street represented its strength. Today, that heart is dying. Detroit's population has plummeted by more than 60% since 1950, from 1.8 million to less than 620,000 people. More than 70,000 homes across the city stand abandoned. Detroit's poverty rate exceeds 30%, nearly 3 times the national average. You can walk through 10 blocks and find more vacant houses than occupied ones. A worker who spent 40 years in a car factory, living in the same neighborhood, is now one of only 3 households left on his entire street. He shared, "At night, I only hear the sound of the wind and the sound of abandoned house windows colliding. I don't know who will stay." The collapse of the auto manufacturing industry led to a massive loss of jobs and a wave of migration to other states in search of opportunities. This has plunged Michigan, particularly Detroit, into a seemingly inescapable spiral of difficulty. Despite reconstruction efforts, aging infrastructure, rampant crime, and a lack of long-term investment make these efforts feel like pouring water into a leaky bucket. Detroit may just be the starting point. When an industry that once sustained an entire state collapses, the domino effect can spread anywhere where the economy relies on a single pillar. America's steel heart has stopped beating, and the question is, are other hearts preparing for the next stop? Which state do you think will be the next Detroit if current trends aren't altered? Please leave your prediction. Number 3. Florida. Paradise under storm. Florida, a state where many dream of retiring in warmth and sunshine, proves that even paradise can experience storms, and not all come from the ocean. Florida's home insurance prices have surged by over 40% in just 2 years, making them the highest in America. Dozens of insurance companies have withdrawn from the state, leaving many families unable to afford insurance, despite living in storm-prone zones. While population growth is rapid, infrastructure and healthcare are struggling to keep pace. Here, you might pay $3,000 per year for insurance and still have to pray every storm season. A woman who moved from New Jersey to Florida to enjoy her old age found her home insurance bill doubled in just 4 years, followed by her insurance company terminating her contract. She lamented, "I moved here to be less stressed. Now I'm more stressed than ever." The combination of climate change, a red-hot real estate market, and a fragile insurance system has transformed Florida into a place of both daydreaming and inherent risk. As storms become larger and more frequent, the cost of maintaining this paradise also escalates. Florida could lose its appeal to retirees if the cost of living and disaster risks continue to escalate. Is a paradise that is no longer peaceful still a paradise? Florida is like a beautiful beach, but each wave sweeps away a part of its foundation. If you had to choose between living in your dream place at high risk and a safe but normal place, what would you choose? Number 2. Nevada. A gamble on a single pillar. Nevada, a name that evokes images of bright lights, casinos, and lavish vacations, reveals a very different reality just a few blocks away from the Strip. More than 25% of the state's economy is directly dependent on the tourism and entertainment industries. During the pandemic alone, Nevada's unemployment rate soared to nearly 30%, the highest in the United States at that time. Home prices in Las Vegas have increased by more than 40% in 5 years, but average incomes have not kept pace. In a state where a global event could wipe out tens of thousands of jobs in mere weeks, people are living in a game of chance far greater than any casino. A former hotel manager in Vegas lost his job during the pandemic and withdrew all his savings to keep his house. However, as the cost of living continued to rise, he was forced to sell his home and move to a small town in the desert. He shared, "In Vegas, I used to think I was lucky until luck changed direction. An economy that relies too heavily on tourism and entertainment makes Nevada highly vulnerable to volatility." A lack of diversification in professions, combined with rapidly rising house prices and the cost of living, has pushed many families into a precarious situation. Without building other economic pillars beyond tourism, Nevada will always stand on the brink, waiting for a strong wind to cause it to fall. Living in Nevada now is like playing a big hand where you can win big or lose it all in just one night. Do you dare to live in a place where the economy depends on a single industry? Why or why not? Please leave a comment on our video. Number 1. Ohio. The slowing clockwork. Ohio, once known as America's production machine, manufacturing everything from steel to cars to machines, now sees many of its towns slowing down so gradually that you can almost hear the clockwork unwinding. Ohio's population is aging rapidly, with a median age of nearly 40, higher than the national average. More than 300,000 manufacturing jobs have disappeared in the past 20 years. Many small towns have lost over 20% of their population since 2000. As the younger generation leaves in search of work in other states, the streets of their hometowns begin to echo with the footsteps of the elderly. A woman living in a small town near Youngstown observed, in the past, after work, the whole town had lights on. Now, by 8 p.m., it's dark. My son said he couldn't get a job here, so he moved permanently to Texas. The collapse of traditional manufacturing, a lack of investment in new technology, and youth migration have caused Ohio to lose its vitality. Many communities here are being gutted not by natural disasters, but by the passage of time and the absence of opportunity. Without finding a way to retain its younger generation and attract new professions, Ohio could become a heartbreaking testament to the disappearance of small American towns. Ohio is like a beautiful antique clock, but its internal spring is weakening, each beat slowing down. How do you think small American towns can revive? Share your opinion. The fading American dream. This list of 8 states paints a clear, albeit sometimes noisy and sometimes quiet, picture. The American dream is fading in many places. While we've discussed 8 states today, if core issues, from housing, jobs, and security to trust, are not resolved, this list will undoubtedly grow longer. Cracks are appearing in many other places. Some states have only seen small signs: house prices rising faster than incomes, jobs disappearing, and communities disintegrating. But if we don't act, these signs will become deep cracks. Crises don't always announce themselves loudly. Sometimes, they retreat step by step, silently but firmly. By the time we realize an entire city, even a state, has changed color, it might be too late. If an abandoned neighborhood can spread into an abandoned city, then a crisis state can also drag down an entire region, much like a small fire in a dry forest that, if not extinguished quickly, will burn everything down. Do you think your state is safe, or are there the first cracks appearing? What signs worry you the most? We need to discuss these stories not to be pessimistic, but to recognize the problem before it's too late. From the West Coast to the East Coast, from big cities to small towns, we've explored 8 stories. Each state has its own causes and injuries, but when viewed together, they pose an inevitable question: is the American dream fading away? That dream was built on 3 pillars: opportunity, community, and trust. Opportunity to work and advance, community to share and protect each other, and the belief that tomorrow will be better than today. But in many places, opportunities are leaving along with jobs. Communities are disintegrating as neighbors move out one after another. And trust is eroded little by little every time a promise is broken. The American dream did not disappear overnight. It fades slowly, like an old photograph left too long in the sun. By the time it's realized, it's sometimes too late to regain its original color. If America is a big blanket woven from millions of small dreams, then today, in some places, every thread is breaking. The question is, will we sit and watch the blanket gradually tear, or will we patch it together? Do you think the American dream still exists? If so, where is it? If not, what took it away? Please share your story or perspective in the comment section. From sunny California, debt-ridden Illinois, dazzling but depopulated New York, to Oregon, Michigan, Florida, Nevada, and Ohio. Each is a separate story, but they all resonate with a common message. The American dream does not disappear on its own. It fades day by day when opportunity, community, and trust are abandoned. This list today features 8 states, but if we don't change and don't find a way to heal and reinvest in people, that number could grow longer. I want to hear your story. Does the state you live in show signs of a crisis? What worries you most about the future? Please share in the comments section because perhaps your story will help others realize the problems where they live. If you found this information useful and want to continue exploring the true picture of America, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Your support motivates me to bring you the most valuable and up-to-date content. This video was made for informational and commentary purposes based on public data sources, statistical reports, and factual stories. This is not financial, legal, or political advice. All statements are general and do not target any specific individual, organization, or government. Audiences are encouraged to verify information from multiple sources and provide their own perspective. The dream is just a dream if we don't keep it alive together. Thank you for accompanying me until the end. See you again in the next videos on the channel.